Hey there, everyone. Today we're going to be diving deep into this YouTube video that you sent us all about passive income. It's Google Books and AI. Apparently, you can make like $960 a day with this method. And we always encourage, a healthy dose of skepticism. So let's unpack this strategy, see what we can learn.
Yeah, right off the bat, I was kind of struck by his choice of platform like Google Books. I feel like most people, they kind of just jump right to Amazon KDP for eBooks. So focusing on Google Books, it could be like a pretty clever way to tap into a market that's maybe a little less saturated.
Yeah, and when you think about it, Google Books reaches like a massive amount of people, right? Over 3 billion. That's more than half of all internet users. So that's a huge potential audience.
It really is. Like, it makes you think about the possibilities, right? Even if you only capture a tiny fraction of those users, the revenue could be pretty significant. And of course, standard 70-30 revenue split. But with that kind of reach, it's definitely something to consider.
For sure. For sure. One thing that really stood out to me was this whole idea of finding evergreen trends. Mr. Race really emphasizes finding topics that'll stay relevant for a long time.
Yeah, smart thinking for sure.
Really, really smart.
He even gives some really good examples, like tying these trends to current events. Like, think about the Olympics coming up in 2024. There's going to be so much interest around that. People are going to be searching for all kinds of information. You can bet on that. Or like, the rise of AI tools like ChatGPT. It's huge. I mean, there's a real opportunity to capitalize on those trends.
Oh, absolutely. And he actually uses Google Trends and Google News to identify these potential ebook topics. I mean, those are tools that anyone can use, right, to kind of see what's capturing people's attention.
Yeah, for sure. Those are definitely tools worth exploring. They can give you like really valuable insights into what people are searching for, what they're talking about. Super useful for like brainstorming ebook ideas.
Absolutely. And this is where things get really interesting. Mr. Reese uses AI for practically every step of his book creation process, which wow. He uses ChatGPT for outlining, for writing the actual content, even for like coming up with ideas for the cover. That's amazing.
It is, but that's also where we need to kind of like pause for a second and think critically about AI, like what it can do, what it can't do. I mean, tools like ChatGPT can definitely help you write faster, but the quality and the originality of like AI generated content, that can really vary. It's really important to understand that, like those nuances.
For sure. That's a really, really good point. He does emphasize, though, the importance of niching down. I thought that was interesting. So, instead of just creating a general ebook about ChatGPT, he suggests like focusing on a specific audience, like ChatGPT for seniors, for example. That way your book, it kind of stands out, right? Yeah. It appeals to a specific group of buyers.
Yeah, it's a smart way to cut through all the noise out there, for sure. When you target a niche audience, you've got a much better chance of getting noticed, in a crowded marketplace. And for creating those, eye-catching covers, he suggests using AI art generators like Leonardo AI or Midjourney. Those are pretty popular ones.
It's incredible how technology is just changing everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, it's not just about writing the book. It's also about like getting it in front of the right people. And Mr. Race, actually, he really gets into that, the marketing and driving sales.
Yeah, he outlines a two-pronged approach, actually. You've got your passive traffic, which is, leveraging Google Books' existing user base. And then you've got your active promotion, drawing in more readers.
Gotcha. So you're not just relying on people stumbling upon your book. You're actively, working to get it seen. He even walks through creating a blog post on Medium to drive traffic to the ebook. And he uses some pretty interesting tools along the way, too.
He does. He uses this tool called oneclick blog post to generate the blog post content, and then SDA.com for editing and adding disclaimers.
Now that's something worth exploring a little further. What's the thinking behind that?
Well, it's all about transparency. He's upfront about using AI to write the ebook, and he includes a disclaimer right in the PDF, just saying, "Hey, this was created with AI assistance."
Right, makes sense. You wouldn't want readers to feel like they've been misled about how the book was created.
Exactly. Plus, there's potential legal and ethical stuff to consider, copyright, authorship, all that when you're using AI-generated content.
Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, you've got the ebook, you've got the cover, you've got a blog post to promote it, all thanks to the power of AI. But the big question in everyone's mind, I'm sure, is can you really make $960 a day with this method.
Well, let's break it down. He's selling each ebook for $9.99, and to reach that $960 figure, he'd need to sell, let's see, roughly 1,400 ebooks a day. Now, that might sound like a lot, but
remember that massive Google Books user base we talked about?
exactly, 3 billion people.
3 billion.
1,400 sales a day is just, it's a tiny, tiny fraction of that market. So in theory, it's possible to hit those numbers. However, it's super important to keep things in perspective and understand that. There's no guarantee of success, right? Even with all those potential readers out there, you still got to think about the challenges.
Yeah, for sure. Like, what are some of the things people should be aware of?
Well, competition, for one. There are probably tons of other ebooks out there covering similar topics. And even with careful editing, an AI-written ebook, it might not be as, in-depth or original as something written by a human expert.
That's true. Yeah. And what about trends changing? I mean, something that's super popular today could be totally irrelevant tomorrow, right?
Exactly, you got it. And let's not forget all the work that goes into actually promoting your ebook. Creating a blog post is great, but you still got to get people to actually see that post and click through to your Google Books listing.
Right. So it's not exactly like, just set it and forget it.
Definitely not. And that's something important to remember if you're thinking about trying this out. Passive income doesn't always mean passive effort, Even with AI helping you out. Building a successful online business takes planning and consistent work. And you got to be able to adapt. Things change all the time.
It's starting to sound like maybe the video's making it seem a little easier than it actually is.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement, especially when you see those big income claims. But it's important to stay grounded and remember, this is just one person's experience, We don't know if they're consistently making that $960 a day or if it was just a lucky break.
So for our listener who sent us this video, what would you say are the key takeaways? Like, what are the most important things to keep in mind?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that AI can be a really powerful tool for sure for creating and marketing ebooks, but it's not magic, Success still depends on choosing the right niche, making quality content, and putting in the effort to promote your work. And it's always smart to do your own research, weigh the pros and cons, see if the strategy really fits with your goals and your resources.
As we're going through all this, something that's striking me is how important it is to be transparent about using AI. Mr. Race is upfront about using ChatGPT. It even includes those disclaimers in the ebooks. Do you think that's becoming like standard practice now?
Yeah, I'd say transparency is becoming more and more important, especially as AI tools get, more advanced and more people are using them to create content. Readers deserve to know how the content they're reading was made, right? And being open about how you do things, it builds trust and credibility.
It also avoids any ethical issues, like about passing off AI-generated content as your own original work.
Exactly. And you know what? Being transparent about using AI, it can actually be a good thing for you. It shows that you're using the latest technology to, make your process smoother and create better content.
So the big question, is this AI-powered Google Books strategy, is it a guaranteed path to passive income? Well, we've gone over the steps, the potential, the challenges, but what do you think? What stands out to you?
What do you think? What seems promising? And what are you a little worried about?
Yeah, it's easy to get excited about all this, but you got to really think critically and analyze the information for yourself.
Absolutely. Don't just take this video at face value. Dig a little deeper, do your own research, see if it really makes sense for you.
At the end of the video, Mr. Race, he actually encourages viewers to watch another video on tripling their income with Google Books. Sounds like he's got a whole system figured out.
Might be worth checking out if you're interested in this whole approach for sure. But remember, we're not here to endorse this specific method. We just wanted to give you the information and the context you need to make your own decision.
Exactly. That's what this deep dive is all about, giving you the knowledge you need to navigate this world of online business.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe you'll find your own unique spin on this and find even more success. That's the beauty of learning, right?
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, it really is amazing to see like how AI is just opening up all these new ways to create and share information. But it definitely like raises some really interesting questions too. What about the future of AI and the whole world of publishing? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, it's a fascinating thing to think about, Like as these AI tools get even better, I think we're going to see like a huge increase in AI-generated content everywhere. All kinds of media, books included.